Hello, buddy. This is Rjepic here, and welcome to the new and improved comic reviews. I know I've only done one comic review before, and it has its own playlist of series. But, well, I'm not doing that anymore. All my comic reviews are going into one section, so I don't have to worry as much, and I can review whatever book I want, whatever comic I want, anything. So, on that note, we're going to take a book from the shelf. Just to give you a little preview, the top shelf there is my Walking Dead shelf. The second shelf there is my Spiderman shelf and Spider Family shelf. That row, the third shelf there is miscellaneous, like, I don't know, Avengers, Justice League, and stuff like that. Afterlife Archie. And then I just added this shelf here, its own series, and that is my Batman shelf, which doesn't have much so far, but I'm gonna try to fix that. So anyway, let's get started. We're gonna go to the second shelf, since I have the most books there. We're gonna pick out a book here. And wow, I turned to it literally perfectly, because today we are going to be reviewing The Amazing Spider-Man #1. So let's bring this over to the illustrious reviewing corner. So yeah, this should be fun, and as you can see, I got my laptop out, which is pretty new. It's nice. Anyway, let's get the review started. It also includes an Inhuman #1, but I'm not gonna read that. I'm not gonna review that right now. I'll review it as its own thing, I think, and I'll probably actually wait to get the actual issue to review it, because I don't know, it's not its own issue. It's just a bonus book. So yeah. So anyway, this is Amazing Spider-Man #1. My copy isn't the best shape. There's so many pages, it's kind of messed up the covers. So yeah, let's get started, because I don't know how long I have to do this, because I'm recording off my phone. So we start off with a little flashback of Peter Parker and how he got bit by the spider, shortening the story last few seconds before the spider died and bit Peter Parker. But it also bit somebody else, some girl. So that's where our story begins. So after that, as you can see, they're affected by it right there already. But as you can see, we have this telling the story, backstory some. But then we go flip the page, and we start off with the menagerie here. I love the art in this book. Well, I did before they switched it. I like Ramos, but oh well, whatever. Ramos is gone now. But whatever, hopefully eventually he'll come back. That'd be nice. But anyway, we got the menagerie here. We got White Rabbit. I really can't remember the name, sorry. But anyway, first thing, Spider-Man saves a woman and her child. And that's when we see Peter Parker's back. Well, maybe not fully back. But we'll see. Anyway. Oh yeah, by the way, we might have, I don't know, but whatever, we have, Hippo here. So they're just, if a car gets thrown at Spidey. Sorry for a little bit glare. But yeah, then we flip the page to see that Spider-Man is buck naked beside his webbed up no-no areas. So yeah, that's what I meant by Spidey's not all there. So we have that, and pictures are being taken right now and being tweeted out. So that's cool. And then we see 4 hours earlier what happened. We see that Peter Parker's back, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. He learns he has his own company now, Parker Industries. He kind of knew that based on previous stuff with Superior Spider-Man, whatever. I'll review that series eventually when I get them all. Then we see him talking to not only some reporters, but Jay Jameson and Aunt May, obviously. But yeah, we see some of Parker Industries is destroyed, so they're having a meeting there. But then we turn the page and we see him starting to talk about how he just returned and how Otto Octavius had taken control of his mind and had been playing out his life for the past while, and with Peter's co-worker Sajani. And of course, there's got to be some rebound effects of Otto Octavius, otherwise known as Dr. Octopus, taking over Peter's life. And we see right here that he had his own girlfriend and Anna Maria Marconi, and we go over to Peter and Anna's apartment. So, yeah. And as he says here, he hopes the surprises I hope it's the last of the surprises, but so much for that. And she finds a wedding ring and a note that Otto Peter left. And she figures out at that moment something that we'll go back to later. We flip the page, we see that the Avengers are dealing with Mayor Jameson, who is J. Jonah Jameson. They're dealing with his they're dealing with his, they're dealing with, the robots, the Goblin Slayer robots, he made these robots to slay the Green Goblin and just the Goblin family in general, but they kind of turned their back, and they also show how Electro went crazy and, destroyed the super prison. So, yay. And then on this side, we see Jonah is going crazy, and he quits as mayor. He resigns. And then he gets angry and throws his bottle at the TV. And then he says, I'm going to go out and do something, and finds out that the Daily Beagle has basically betrayed him. So then we flip the page to see Peter learning some stuff about his company and seeing what they were doing, and he's like, what the is going on? And yeah, he's like, what's going on? She doesn't get it because she doesn't know what's going on, so Janie doesn't, so whatever. Then he sees all the stuff that's been made for Spiderman. He's like, ooh, that's beautiful, basically. He doesn't say that, but still. And they say how they said earlier, and now they bring it back up, how they cut ties with Spiderman, when you actually know they didn't. Then we come back and see Peter as Spider-Man going through the city, and then yet again he runs into the menagerie. And as I was trying to figure out the names earlier, it was Hippo Panda and Hippo Panda Mania and Gypsy Moth. So yeah, but she goes by Skeen actually, and she is one hot comic book character, if I can say so myself. Then we go over and see that Spider-Man's going after them, but Skeen's power is that she can manipulate threads. So, basically makes Peter naked, which is what we saw earlier, because she messes with the threads, and then he's like, not the mask, and kicks her. And then this is what happens, and this is what we saw when the no-no areas are exposed. And then the click, 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 yep. And then we see in Avengers Tower, we see Spider-Woman and Captain America. They're like, I think Peter's back. And they think it's fine now. And then we see Johnny Storm in the bird, and he's laughing, which is, I don't know. I know who he is, I'm just sorry, I can't think of it now. And then on the bottom here, we finally run into Mary Jane, as hot as ever, if I may say, and she notices Spidey's on her screen. She's like, idiot. So yeah, from there out, we see that he catches up with the menagerie, takes him down, and gets questions like, what is this? This is disgusting. And then after that, goes to his apartment to find a nice surprise in Anna Maria Marconi. And then he gets questioned because Anna Maria knows that he is Spider-Man. And she's like, how do you know? And she's like, I saw the freckles. And he's like, we've seen all the freckles on each other. And he's like, oh. And then to be continued. So that is the end of issue 1, but there is some bonus material with some more stories in here, which include, Recaption That Old Spark, which is a story about Electro. As we see here, Electro is in a bar where super villains hang out and stuff, who just villains. and it says a couple nights ago, and this leads to what happened, how he destroyed the prison, and it shows how he destroyed the raft before, which is the soup prison. And he's angry about these lackeys and how they're making fun of him and stuff, and even though they haven't done anything to make themselves noticeable, and he has, like I said. And then going on over from there, we see him going on over, saying how he's gonna prove himself to be what he used to be known as, a amazing supervillain, and he destroys the super prison, and he realizes he can't control his power anymore, his electricity, so it goes out of control, and it actually starts to hurt him. And then that's when he realizes Spider-Man did this, as you can see, and he knows how many people he hurt and killed. So yeah. And then that ends that story, but the next story is about Black Cat. And we see months ago, she's talking about how she got thrown in jail and how Superior Spider-Man, Otto Octavius, basically hit her, which she didn't expect, and like Peter would never do that. And basically roughed her up really bad and left her for the cops. And how it ruined her life, and how she's in prison, and everybody knows her identity now, Felicia Hardy. Anyway, and then we move on over with, I think it's an all-female jail, yeah, it is, I think, with, prison mate saying, "Here, kitty, kitty," so however you take that, I know what it means, but still, and then her doing some work inside the prison, and a guard saying, "Don't hurt her now, do it later," and then she starts to go all crazy, and like, "Oh, I want to hurt Spider-Man so bad, but I'm gonna do it slowly." But anyway, we go over. She says, "Oh, my power is being lucky." And the power goes out, and next thing you know, super prison destroyed. Bam. And the person next to her is dead. The one who wanted to hurt her. And she doesn't get hurt at all, Felicia. And when we saw Spider-Man swinging earlier, Peter back as Spider-Man, we find out that Black Cat was actually watching him. It said now. And then from there, she says, "I'm going to hurt you, Spider-Man," and it's to be continued in Amazing Spider-Man #2. The next story here is just a little story about his powers. Just explains his powers. I don't really need to review this. Just says wall crawling, his super strength, his webs and everything. I don't need to explain that. Then we have a story about Spider-Man 2099. And we see Cop Chopper in the air, and it's like, "Oh, well, everything's solved now. There was a armored car and stuff and whatever, and there's a robbery, and he helped out and thwarted it." Then we go down, we see Spider-Man 2099, also known as Miguel O'Hara's or whatever, just roaming around, but he sees that somebody's being mugged. A lady, actually. As you can see, the lady over here has some nice pink hair, and she's like, "Get off," and she has pepper spray, spray someone, but she loses the battle, which brings the bad guy to bring out his gun, and when he's about to shoot, bam comes Miguel to the save. And basically after all that, she slaps him and is like, "I didn't ask you to save me." And she's like, "You want the police? You called them yourself. Jeez." He gets up, he's like, "What the hell just happened?" And Spider-Man 2099 is like, "Wham, stay down." Which leads to our last story. I'm pretty sure our last story, yeah, basically. I think maybe, if not, whatever, which is the Scarlet Spider story, talking about Kane, how he was evil but turned kind of good, and Peter wanted to check on him since he just came back, basically. I think it's Peter, I'm not completely sure. Tells a story about how he wants to be just like Peter, just like Spider-Man, whatever, but he's so filled with anger and rage, it may not be the best, but he is doing actually really good, and he's a really good person deep down, and it explains how it'd be in the New Warriors, which is a series I plan on eventually getting. So, yeah. And actually, our last story, which leads into the 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, and 1.5 stories, is a story about the kid who turns into class, which his name is, Clayton Cole. It explains a little bit about him, how he's so smart and whatever, and he says he's going to this wrestling event, I think, and he sees, this is where he meets Spiderman. Yeah, it was his first show. We all know he beat Crusher Hogan. He saw it. He actually got it on video. He's the first one who put it on YouTube and got Spidey famous. And not only that, he got him famous, but he also got in again. Well, I don't know, but he missed his TV spectacular and everything. And then he saw him come out in his costume for the first time too. But then, as we see here, he does all his acts, does amazing, spectacular, you might say even. And they all cheering, and then, oh my God, he's in the crowd. And Clayton asks for his autograph. He gets it, and he's like, "Wow, Spider-Man is amazing." And yeah. Then there's a thief, and this is where, leading up to where Uncle Ben got shot. He didn't stop the thief either, but this is where Peter didn't stop the thief. And then we see Clash with his costume. And then it says, "To be continued in Amazing Spider-Man number 1.1. And then we get a preview page. And that is it, because I'm not reviewing Inhuman number 1 right now. Probably not until I get the issue. So I hope this audio turns out fine. And thank you all for watching this. This has been my second ever comic book review. And goodbye. And like I said, thank you all for watching. Peace.